Hello everyone, welcome back to Rob's Movie Reviews. Let me start out real quick by apologizing. It's been about 3 weeks since I uploaded my last video. I've had a lot of things going on and just haven't had time to commit to making this video, but things are slowing down for me now, so hopefully I'll be able to get back into a fairly regular schedule of making and uploading videos. I'd like to this week discuss the film The Dark Knight Rises, the third and final installment, obviously, in the Dark Knight trilogy, the best film of the trilogy. And I have to say that the trilogy itself is probably the best trilogy, I'll say the word again, that I have ever seen of any film franchise. It's wonderful from Batman Begins to The Dark Knight and then into The Dark Knight Rises. A lot of time and care was put into the writing and the directing. The casting is outstanding. The direction, the set design. I mean, these are just extremely high quality, really good movies that tell really good stories, as opposed to what we got back in the 90s, which, for my personal taste, was a little, well, not a little, a lot too campy, too much like the old Adam West TV show from the 60s. And I think a lot of that was because from early on, Tim Burton was involved in the making of those films, and I just absolutely despise Tim Burton. I know there's probably a lot of you who will disagree with me on that, and if you do, you're welcome to let me know in the comments below. But just never liked the guy. But anyway, I'm digressing. Dark Knight Rises starts out. It's now been 8 years since the death of Harvey Dent. Bruce Wayne has basically become a recluse. No one's seen him. Very few people have seen him in the past 8 years. He's pretty much just hiding away at Wayne Stately Manor, or Stately Wayne Manor. And about the only person he lets see him is Alfred, of course, and occasionally Lucius Fox. Other than that, no one's seen him. He's basically hiding from the world. At the same time, Wayne Industries is beginning to go down. There was a huge project they were working on. It was a generator, a nuclear-powered generator, that Bruce decided to have him pull the plug on the project because he was afraid if somehow it were to fall into the wrong hands, it could be used as a weapon. It could destroy the entire city. So he pulls the plug on the project, has the generator discontinued, and because there was so much money dumped into that project, Wayne Industries is now suffering, and he is put into a position where he has to bring someone aboard to try to turn the company around. There's a young woman who has made a career out of bringing companies on the brink back and getting them back on the path of making money again. A young lady by the name of Miranda Tate. So Bruce basically has signed all control of Wayne Industries over to her. But in the meantime, during this 8 year period, other than that, the city of Gotham itself has seen a long time of prosperity. Crime is all but been done away with, and it's all because of the hard work of Harvey Dent before he basically, well, we all know what happened to him in the Dark Knight when he had his breakdown and ended up becoming a psychopathic killer. But this has been kept secret. No one in the public is aware that this ever happened. In fact, they believe that Batman was responsible, at least partially, for the death of Harvey Dent. And James Gordon has been keeping this secret tight-lipped for this entire time. But it's been a good time in Gotham. You know, the city's thriving, the economy's up, crime is way down, things are just great. But all that is about to change because a individual who calls himself Bane moves into Gotham. And if you're familiar with the Batman legend at all, if you've read the comics or novels or seen the old TV show or some of the earlier films, you know who Bane is. He's personally one of my favorite Batman villains. He is played by Tom Hardy in this film, and let me just say right now, I absolutely love Tom Hardy's performance. I think he is a wonderful actor. I think he did a tremendous job. I loved him as well in the most recent Mad Max film that he was in. Tom Hardy is a great actor, and I just, if I see his name on a movie, I'm going to watch it. Anyhow, he comes to Gotham as Bane. He sets up his underground empire in the sewers below the city and builds himself a pretty sizable army. And he is able to lure the Gotham City Police Department to bring just about every man they've got armed to the teeth down into the sewers to do battle with his army. And it's all a ruse, because once he gets them down there, he sets off some strategically placed explosives all throughout the sewer system, causing massive collapse, cave-ins all over the place, and effectively trapping the entire Gotham City police force below the city, which then he and his army ascend to the surface and wreak havoc. They'll bust open the gates to all the jails and prisons in Gotham and let the criminals run loose in the streets. All the wealthy people are drugged from their homes, kicking and screaming, and everything is basically like socialism. Everything's wide open now. We're going to distribute the wealth to everybody. And they take all the money and belongings away from the Gotham's wealthy and give it to anybody that wants it. And it's absolute chaos. Then to make matters worse, he blows up all the bridges coming from the mainland that lead to the island that the city is built on. So now Gotham is completely isolated, and it's surrounded by the United States military, because there's just so much crime in the streets that it's uncontrollable. And they basically set up a perimeter on the mainland, and a perimeter of boats surrounding the island. Anybody that tries to leave is going to get shot. So, the good people of Gotham are trapped there. They have no way off the island. They're trapped in the middle of all this chaos. Bruce realizes that Bane needs to be stopped, so he comes after him as Batman, and before the events with the police happen, he confronts Bane in these sewers and just gets his butt handed to him. Bane beats him so bad that Bruce is almost crippled. He's basically rendered incapable of walking. And then to add insult to injury, Bane has some of his people take Bruce to an underground prison in a fictional country where Bane himself had once been imprisoned, and they dump him there to live out the rest of his life and they make sure that there's a large screen television in his prison cell so he can watch the destruction of Gotham. The only way out of this prison is to climb. There's a huge opening above the prison. If you can climb up the wall and get to the top and manage to get out, you can go free. Many people have tried it. Very few succeed. Bane being one of the few that succeeded. But anyway, I'm digressing again. Bane has turned Gotham into total chaos. Bruce does eventually heal, and he does manage to climb his way out, and he returns to Gotham. Of course, when he gets there, it's unbelievable. The criminals of Gotham have set up a kangaroo court, and just about anybody they don't like, they're dragging in there, convicting them, sentencing them to death for even the most minor crimes. Bruce is able to get a little ragtag group together and they help him, including Selena Kyle, who I forgot to mention, shows up early in the film. And there's this immediate attraction between her and Bruce. Selena is played by Anne Hathaway, one of my favorite actresses. Very beautiful girl. She does a wonderful job as Selena, but with the help of Catwoman, who, though she's not buddies with Batman, she is physically attracted to him, and she also realizes that though she is a thief and a criminal, what's going on in Gotham is bad, and she decides to help Batman along with a few other people. They manage to free Gotham City's police officers, and they come back to the surface. And a big battle ensues between the police of Gotham and Bane's army. And in the middle of all this, Batman faces off with Bane again. And this time, Batman gets the best of him. He beats him down, but just before he's able to subdue Bane to the point where he can get him, cuffed or whatever, and get him turned over to the police, assuming they win their battle with Bane's army, Batman is stabbed in the back. And it turns out to be Miranda Tate. This is when we find out that she is actually the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, who Batman dealt with in the first film, Batman Begins. And she has come back to avenge her father's death and to finish his work by completely destroying Gotham. She has stolen the generator that the Wayne Industries had been working on, has weaponized it, and is now going to detonate the bomb. Unfortunately, when she hits the button to blow it up, fully ready to give her own life, she's totally insane at this point, willing to die herself. She wants to see the look on Batman's face in the instant that the bomb goes off. She tries to detonate it, but Commissioner Gordon has managed to find the bomb, get to it, and disconnect the remote detonator. So now she's going to have to wait for the timer to run out, which is, at this point, there's only like less than an hour left on the timer before the bomb goes off. Batman manages to find the bomb, Batman gets into his flying apparatus. It's not a Batcopter or the Batjet. It's called the Bat. It's something that was designed by Wayne Industries for the military that was rejected. It can maneuver between buildings at very high speeds. He uses this to fly over the flatbed truck that's hauling the bomb, connect a cable to it, and carry the bomb out into Gotham Bay, where the bomb explodes. Unfortunately, it appears that Batman is killed in the explosion. And everything that Bruce Wayne owned, the mansion, all of his assets, everything is liquidated, and a lot of it is donated to the city, specifically for the purpose of helping the homeless and orphans in the city, the homeless children and orphans and the homeless people. His mansion is turned into a home for orphans. And, of course, a sizable amount of the money is also put aside for Alfred to take care of him. And as the film ends, we see Alfred is on a trip to, I believe it's somewhere in Italy. He's sitting in an outdoor cafe, and as he looks across to the other side, he catches a glimpse of Bruce sitting at a table with Selena Kyle. They don't speak to each other. Bruce just kind of gives him a nod of recognition, and him and Selena walk off, and we're left with Alfred with a huge smile on his face. And that's how the film ends. It's fantastic. I mean, I could sit here and talk about it all day and not do it justice. It's just a wonderful, wonderful movie. It capped off a wonderful trilogy. I just love it so much, and I think it'll never be topped. It's the best adaptation of Batman to film that I've ever seen, probably ever will see, and I highly, highly recommend it. So that's going to be my review of The Dark Knight Rises. And you be sure to check back next week. I'll have another video. I'm not sure what movie I'm going to do yet, so you'll just have to check back and find out. But until then, you all take care.